Hi, my name is Anita and I'm from Winnipeg, Canada, and this is my assignment for week 3 of the Introduction to Music Production course. Today I'm going to go through the basic steps for setting up a drum mix in Logic Pro version 9. Mixing can be a challenge at the best of times, so when dealing with multiple individual drum tracks, it's a good idea to create a submix by sending them all to one fader so that you can process and control their volume as a single unit in the final mix. Here I have a session with 5 drum tracks, containing the kick, snare, hi-hat, cymbal, and a stereo overhead mic track. Okay, so I've got the volume levels of the individual instruments set pretty much the way I want them to be in the mix, and I've done a bit of EQing and compression on each individual track to tweak the sounds, so I'm ready to create a stereo submix bus. I'm going to do this by clicking on the Options drop-down menu and selecting I/O labels, and then I'm going to scroll down to where the buses are, and select bus number 3. I'll label it Drum Submix and hit enter and then close out that window. Okay, now I'm going to select all my drum tracks and set the outputs to the new drum mix bus that I just created, which is bus number 3, and there it is. You'll see that a new track pops up. It's an auxiliary channel strip, and I just need to label it Drum Submix. And it's always a good idea to double check the input of the new auxiliary channel strip, make sure it's set to the outputs of the drum tracks, and that the output of the auxiliary channel strip is set to go directly to the main outputs of Logic Audio. Now I'm going to solo this channel strip and press play, and we hear the drums. Now if I click mute, they should be off. Okay, great. So now we can control the volume for all our drums with one fader. I can also insert an EQ into this channel by clicking on one of the insert buttons and selecting an EQ. And I think I'll go with this one. And now I can make some overall adjustments to the EQ of the drums. And of course, now we can hear that any change in the EQ will affect all of the drums as a whole. And I can also add a bit of reverb to the channel strip so that all the drums have the same amount of reverb in the mix. Since I have an auxiliary channel with a reverb set up on bus 1, I can send some of the drum submix to this bus. Okay, so now that I've got some reverb on my drum submix, I'm going to unmute the rest of my tracks and listen to everything so that I can decide how loud I want the drum kit to be as a single unit in the context of the mix. And that's about all there is to it. So just to summarize what I did, I created a drum submix bus, and then I routed the outputs of the tracks to the drum submix bus, which automatically created an auxiliary channel strip for the drum submix. Then I added an EQ plugin and a reverb send, and last of all, I adjusted the level of the drums in the mix by adjusting the level of the fader. All in all, it's a pretty simple and effective method for managing large groups of similar instruments in the final mix. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen. I hope I presented the material in a clear and concise way and that you enjoyed the presentation. Happy recording and good luck with the rest of the course.